Hi, welcome to Conversation with Friends. Let's get comfortable. If you're wondering what omugo is when your parents, you can be eating good. Because you know what I mean, you'll be needing some heavy pounded yam, egusi soup, ogbono, okra within 0.0008288 seconds. Woozy woo, woo, woozy woo. I looked at it and it said pregnant, and I said, Lordy, Lordy, Lord. I'm super excited about today's episode, and one of the reasons why is because I get to share my pregnancy journey with all of you. It was rough. That's all I have to say. Listen, these days when I see a pregnant woman like coming somewhere, walking, look, I hold the door for her. I hold it with my hands, my legs, my head, whatever it is. So if you're out there, I'm saying to you right now, if you see a woman who's pregnant or has kids, trust me. You know what I mean? Make her day by just holding the door. Like, seriously, like holding the door. And if you're able to, pay for her coffee. Like, honestly, pay for her coffee. Because, woo, mothers are strong. I have a different level of respect for my mother now. I'm not even kidding. Like, a whole nother world of respect for her. Because, what? What? And you did this more than once? Honey, you are strong. And before we jump right into it, grab yourself, if you need a glass of wine, if you need a cup of coffee. I have a beautiful cup of coffee that I made for myself early this morning. Get comfortable. And if you're listening to this on audio, I hope that you enjoy it because this story is about to go into details. I am a very detailed person when it comes to storytelling. So let's jump into it. First of all, how did I find out I was pregnant? So I was prepping for my half marathon that I was going to run because one of my biggest goals in 2024 was to run a half marathon. And so I was training for my half marathon. And so this one day I had gone out with my husband and I was doing a long run. I was in an 8-mile run that day. And so during the run, right, I just kept on feeling so winded. I kept on feeling like I was about to pass out. You guys, I'm placing a video so that you guys can see the run that I'm talking about. Like, I just felt so winded. It's so funny because on that run, I have the same color of the sweater the sweater I'm wearing is the same color as what I'm wearing right now. That's crazy. That's great. That's crazy. Okay. Meant to be episode, I guess. Or did I plan it? We'll never know. Okay, no, seriously. Back to the story. I just kept on feeling so nauseous. I was feeling so tired. And I was like, oh my God, I think my period's coming. I really thought it was my period week. I was like, okay, definitely my period because but it felt a little extra than my usual feelings during my period. Like really, I was feeling so nauseous. My stomach was like in knots. But not just that, also I wanted to I was craving certain meals that I had from my childhood. It's the craziest. I was just craving certain meals from my childhood and I was like, something's off. Something's off, but also I knew we're trying. So it's not like I was like, that's going to pregnancy immediately. No. I just kind of felt like, oh, and immediately I was like, am I pregnant? I was like, nah, I don't think so because it's almost my period. I've been feeling the cramp around my belly. I've been feeling all of this. And let me tell you, honey boo boo childs, we went and bought a pregnancy test. And so I peed on the stick, the first one, and it showed nothing, it showed negative. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm not. But then I was like, you know what? So when I went to get the pregnancy test, I got the ones that have the lines. And then I got the ones, the clear blue, clear blue. I've forgotten what it's called. Claire. Clear. I got the clear one, which just tells you pregnant or not pregnant. I was like, I need to see. You know what I mean? The lines, sometimes they confuse me. I went and got that one. And so I peed on it and I was just waiting for it. And let me tell you, I looked at it and it said pregnant. And I said, Lordy, Lordy, Lord. First thing I thought about, honestly, was I'm not going to be able to run my half marathon. Why? This is how you know that it's just too much type A personality. I was thinking about my goals and so thinking oh my God, what's about to happen? And so anyways, found out I was pregnant. I was super excited, but at the same time also, I don't know, I just felt very indifferent as well because I just did not, I don't know. I just felt like I did not see it coming. Yes, we were trying, but also I felt like, coffee please. I don't know what I felt like in that moment. It was just, maybe I felt very overwhelmed, honestly. And the first person I wanted to tell immediately was my best friend because she has been waiting for me. She was waiting for me at the door to get pregnant. You know what I mean? I literally told all of my close family, family and close friends. And I was like, oh, I'm pregnant, you know. And so I called my gynecologist. And so I told her, I was like, hey, I took a pregnancy test. I'm pregnant. She was like, okay, let's come in. Like, I'm going to have you come in so we can check just to make sure, like, there's something in there and all of that. And then I was going to be transferred to an OB instead. Or rather, I was going to be given an OB, which I'm beginning to understand the language of all of this. Crazy. Anyways, so I then go to the hospital. She checks and everything, and first of all, we knew that I have fibroids, but like she wanted to see where they were now, because now we have to observe, since I'm pregnant, now we have to observe the growth of the fibroid, right, to make sure that things are okay with the pregnancy. And that's another whole episode, honestly. Like, the topic of fibroid is crazy, and then being pregnant with fibroid is another war on its own. So I go in, we do like an ultrasound. After we did the ultrasound, we checked that, and then we found out that at that time I was 8 weeks pregnant. And she was like, okay, you're 8 weeks pregnant, things. And she also wanted me to do, because usually you do like the sugar test when you're like 20 weeks into the pregnancy, but because I have my family has history of diabetes, she was like, I want us to do like the sugar test immediately, just to make sure that you don't have gestational diabetes. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then we did the test, and tell me why I tested positive to gestational diabetes. So at 8 weeks, it didn't matter what I was craving, what I wanted, whatever it is that I wanted to eat, I couldn't eat it, because now I needed to be on a goddamn diet. But not just on a diet, I needed to check my blood 4 times a day. I needed to check my blood every time I woke up. I needed to check my blood 1 hour after every meal. And this was at 8 weeks. People usually find out at 20 weeks, and which I understand is a blessing, because usually it's like, why wait until 20 weeks when you're like far into the pregnancy? Like, it's good to find out early so that way you're able to control it. But at the same time, also, I'm like, I would have loved to eat all the things that I was craving, but now I couldn't eat all those things because they were not good, because they were spiking my blood sugar. Oh, I learned so much about food, so much about eating. Let me know if you want me to speak on a different topic, on like a different episode on that, because let me tell you something. I kept my blood sugar where it needed to be the entire pregnancy. My OB was so proud of me, and I have a chat that I kept of all my logs and everything, what I ate, how I ate. Like, literally, if you need it, let me know, because I want to provide this resource to people who definitely need it. So anyways, we find out that I have gestational diabetes. Now I have to like really regulate the way that I'm eating. I needed to check my blood 4 times a day. Honestly, that was like some of the hardest things. And not just that, in all of that, I think by week 9, I fell into prenatal depression. Like, when I tell you I had never felt depressed in my entire life, but I just felt like the whole world was coming to an end. I wanted to stay in a dark room. I didn't want any noise. I didn't want to talk to anybody. Like, I just kept on spiraling. I was thinking like my life is over. Like, oh my God, and now you're going to be a mother. And being a mother is not a thing that I ever saw myself becoming. And so it was very strange to me and very new to me. And I was not sure if it was something that I was going to be really good at. That was another one. And so I didn't want to talk to anybody. My therapy session, I kept on moving my therapy session with my therapist. At some point, my therapist like, we cannot move. We cannot keep moving your sessions. She's like, we need to pull you out of this. She sent me emails like, we need to pull you out of this. She's like, first thing, she's like, I want you to do is try opening the window. She's like, even if it's just for a minute, she's like, put a timer for a minute, open the window, let that sun just touch you a little bit. And I'm just like, who's going to be doing all that? Like, who's going to be doing all that? Trying to open up the window and get the sun. I don't want no sun. I don't want nothing. I don't even want, this email is already pissing me off, right? And I was having all the hormones as well, like all the pregnancy hormones. So it was really a lot for me in that moment. Oh God, it was a lot. Like, when I go back to it, one thing I'm grateful for is my friend Joyce made me keep a journal. She told me I didn't have to write it. She said just go to my voice note and just express how I was feeling in that moment. It really, really helped me. And then my therapist suggested like me not pushing my sessions, and she gave me like tools like opening the window for like a minute. And before I knew it, like after a minute, sometimes I would like want to sit there for like 5 minutes because it felt really good. It felt nice. She needed to watch me. She really just was like watching me, because it just felt like a lot. I felt like myself spiraling. I kept on like thinking about my life, like where am I headed? Where's my life going? Like, I could have been more. I could do more. Why am I here? Why am I pregnant? Why am I a mother? Why am I trying to be a mother? Why am I a wife? Oh my God. Why am I not a feminist? Why am I not living in my own like, these are real thoughts that were going through my mind. Like, why am I not living in my own condo? Why am I not single? Why am I not in Ibiza? Like, having a nice summer. Well, it just kept on going and I just kept on spiraling. And my therapist was able to like just reel me in slowly and help me walk through the process. Honestly, I highly recommend therapy during pregnancy and after pregnancy because I know people talk about postpartum depression a lot, but we do not talk enough about prenatal depression because that's actually a thing. Like, it really is. And it really, really like just sucks you in. And it's usually even worse because the beginning part of your pregnancy is when your hormones, like when everything, like the symptoms and everything, feel very heightened in the journey. And so it just feels like everything is just like working against you. So I feel like we definitely need to talk more about like prenatal depression. And that's I feel like I'll talk about more in details about it in another episode of this podcast. And I'm going to actually try to get like an expert or in something like this, just so that way we can benefit more and have better understanding of it. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get somebody who can speak to us about these things in pregnancy. I'm gonna talk to my OB. Maybe she's gonna agree to come on the podcast because she's so cool and I love her. And maybe she'll agree to come on the podcast. I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna ask her, and so that way we can get some juicy details. Well, I go on this like the pregnancy journey. By the time I got to like, I want to say when I got to like week 16 is when I started to feel like, the symptoms were no longer as heavy as they were in the beginning. Like, I felt more like I was enjoying like food. Like, I could smell things, like, and not feel nauseous. Like, I felt like I could eat certain things, I just really, and I had to go get decaf coffee because I just did not understand how I could live my life without, like, I wanted that smell of coffee. But here's what's crazy. I wanted Nescafe because it reminded me of the coffee that my dad would drink when I was younger, because my dad was like a huge coffee drinker and Nescafe was like his coffee that he will always drink. And so I really wanted that. So I got like a decaf one of that and I just enjoyed it because it just took me back to my childhood for some reason. I just created, and it made me feel good. It really made me feel good. Anyways, go through the pregnancy, and I think around week 25, almost right before I hit week 30, I started feeling like, okay, you can do this. You got this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can do this. You can do that. I'm not even, like, because the whole pregnancy journey it didn't feel as amazing as I would have wanted it to be. And the reason why was because, one, I had to watch for like my gestational diabetes. So I was constantly just checking my blood sugar, constantly just trying to make sure that I was doing the right thing, eating the right food. So my mind was on that. And not just that, also I was so focused on the fibroids because I had to go see an expert on fibroids, and we're looking at the fibroids. And when the pregnancy started, I had two fibroids. I had one at 10 centimeters and the other was 13. So I had two fibroids inside of me. So we had 23 centimeter fibroids, okay? But they were growing outside of my uterus, which my doctor was like, okay, that's better than being in your uterus, because that, it's not like fibroids good, but that's better. But now they needed to pay attention to make sure that it wasn't growing bigger than the size that it was. And as God will have it, because let me tell you something, I have to give God all the glory, and just the testimony is God's, because I couldn't have done it. I could not have done it without God. Seriously. Like, my fibroids stayed the same my entire pregnancy, but my belly felt bigger and it felt more firm. Like, it felt more like if you just touched my belly, it will pop. I'm going to show you guys a picture here. And this was me at 6 months pregnant. This was me at 6 months pregnant. So imagine what I was at 9. Like, at 9, I was just ready to go. And also, let's all be very clear. Pregnancy in 9 months, it's 10, 40 weeks, 10 months, which is annoying. Like, let's say what it is. And also, if you pass the 40 week mark, it's now more than 10. Now you're going to the 11th month. At this point, just dedicate an entire year to pregnancy. Yes, let's do that. Let's just tell women to dedicate an entire year, because what? No, women are strong. That's all I have to say. Women are strong. Women are strong. Like, women are strong. Woo, the things that we can stand. Anyways, go through the pregnancy, and I think by week 22, I think about week 22, I had to go on insulin. So I had to like go on insulin because I could no longer keep my blood sugar levels low. So I had to go on insulin. So I had to take insulin every night. We started at the smallest dose, and I think that was 8. And by the time I was done with the pregnancy, we had gone up to I think 18. Yeah, because I had to keep increasing the dose because I couldn't keep those blood sugar levels down anymore with like the right diet or whatever. But the fact my OB was actually no, it was around week 28 that I had to go on insulin. My OB was very proud of me. I felt so good. She loved the fact that I was very scientific and I was very like research based on everything. So I was like constantly doing my own research and finding ways that I could eat better and still enjoy the things that I wanted, but eat better. And like I said, I kept a log. If you want to see it, let me know. If that will be helpful for someone, let me know, because I would love to share it with anyone who's struggling with gestational diabetes. But yeah, and so I had to take insulin, like I said, every night, which really helped because then we're able to get that like regulated. I was so excited because my friends came around and they I had 2 baby showers. Yes, I was so excited about having my baby showers because now I was like excited about like, oh, it's happening. Oh, also we had the gender reveal. So I had my friend Nidia order the cake and everything for the gender reveal. I had the gender reveal with my siblings and my closest friends. It was so cool because I thought I was going to have a girl. Like, I genuinely was like, I'm getting a baby girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this baby girl lifestyle. Like, she and I, woo, 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 woo. She going to be that girl. And God said, no, you're going to be a boy mom. You're going to be a boy mom. Is the fact that I was wearing pink. Like, I was full on in my pink attire because I was like, yes, I'm definitely getting a girl. I was putting it into the existence. God was like, yeah, the color ain't gonna matter. It's gonna be a boy. And super excited now. I'm not gonna lie. I really wanted a girl. Super excited that I got a boy. And I absolutely just adore him. Love him now. Well, not now. Always did, but point is, like, I'm happy that I have a boy. And so it was nice to just have like that gender reveal. We did most of the things we did was over Zoom with my friends, and then some of the things were like in present time. My friend Nidia flew in to come and spend some time with us during my pregnancy. So it was really nice. It was really nice to have like that baby shower, just to see everybody excited to meet the baby, excited for all of the happenings, And so after that, then I went to the hospital. Okay. Yeah, so I started to go to the hospital because that's when they started. What those things called? I forget now. They go where they check your blood pressure and just check the baby. You go in every week for them to be able to do that. So I started going in weekly for them to check, just to make sure everything was good. And every week I would go in. Everything just seemed good. Everything was great. My OB was happy. She loved that we're progressing right. And another thing that really helps me during my pregnancy was I stuck to my Pilates classes. I literally did my Pilates until I was at week 36, I want to say. Either 36 or 30. Yeah, I think 36. Yeah, week 36 is when I stopped doing Pilates, but I literally worked out my entire pregnancy. And it really, really helped me, especially my mental health. It really, really just... it made a difference, like made a huge difference. So because I have gestational diabetes, my OB let me know that they're going to have to induce me at 39 weeks, only because they do not want the baby to grow too big, because towards the end of the pregnancy, the baby begins to grow faster, they said. So they will have to induce me at 39 weeks so that way the baby doesn't grow faster. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Even I'm ready. I'm ready. But if the baby comes before then, even better, they said. So I said, okay. So I just started doing like simple walks and workouts, just things to like get me going, to see if like, I end up like going into labor by the 39 weeks. Anyways, I'm getting ready, all of those things. Now I'm like super excited. I've opened my gifts. I'm like, baby, ready. I'm like, yes, we ready for you. You come. in, honey. We're ready. We've prepped for you. We've prepped for you, my love. We've prepped for you. You don't need to worry about nothing no more. Anyways, we're super excited, getting everything ready. Got his room ready, like just kind of got the things that we wanted set and ready to go. And then my mom came to visit because my mom had to come and do omugo. If you're wondering what omugo is when your parents in Nigeria, it's one of those things where when you're pregnant and you're about to give birth, your mother is going to come during that time that you're going to give birth, so that way she can take care of you, so that way she can help you take care of the baby, so that you can relax, so that you can be resting, you can be eating good. Because you know what I mean, you'll be needing some heavy pounded yam, egusi soup, ogbono, okra. You know what I mean? You'll be needing things like ogbono, okra, you know what I mean? Swanchikafa, masa, couldn't get that. Like, what do you need? Okay. Anyways, so my mom comes to visit from Nigeria. She came when I was 38 weeks, because I wanted her to come closer to like the birth. So she came when I was 38 weeks, picked her up and everything. Super excited. My mom was so excited to see me pregnant. She was there. I feel like that woman has like 5 million pictures of me just at the end of my pregnancy. Like, she has like 5 million of them, like on her phone. She just kept on taking pictures of me, like telling everyone, look at Jubilee pregnant, look at Jubilee pregnant, look at Jubilee pregnant. Oh my gosh, she looks like this. She looks like you. Especially one of my aunts, she'll be like, she looked like you when you were pregnant. She looked like you when you were pregnant. I'm like, oh my God, stop. Because this is not the prettiest. Because by the time I got to the end of my pregnancy, even I looked in the mirror and I was like, whoa, we don't recognize her. Who is she? Because I was fine. Like, I felt like a babe. Do you understand? Like, I felt like a babe during the entire time. And then when we hit 34 weeks or 35 weeks, damn, your girl went from like that to that. And it was crazy. Grateful that my body allowed me to be able to carry my child to term. I'm truly super, super grateful, because during the pregnancy, I just learned so much about like pregnancy and being able to get to term and just the process that so many women go through. So it's crazy. It's crazy that there needs to be more research around like women's health. There needs to be more research around like just fertility, so that way women know what they're walking into. They know the risks. They understand all of those things. And so by week 39, they let me know, we're going to have you come in so that way we can induce you. And I was like, yes, let's do it. So week 39 comes around. I call in. I'm like, hey, I'm supposed to be admitted at 3 p.m. Is it okay if I come in now? And they said, yes, absolutely. We're ready for you. Because they told me sometimes because they don't know, they can have like emergencies, and then the entire like ward, or the entire like rooms, like all the rooms are full. So they just want to make sure like when I come in, you know, like they have a room for me. And so I called and they say, yes, we have a room for you. So I went in with my husband, I went with my mom. I was there, I was relaxed. They told me to order something to eat, which I did. I ordered something to eat. I ate. I was feeling good. I had this sandwich that I was like, this is delicious sandwich. Actually, during my pregnancy, there was this sandwich place right by our house that I was obsessed with. When I tell you obsessed, like I could eat their sandwiches for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. At some point, they knew me. At some point, they knew my order so much that I will send my husband to go get me the sandwich, and they'll be like, oh yeah, the usual. Let me tell you, I had extra mayo in that. I got a steak and cheese sandwich, and I had extra mayo. I had all the veggies. I wanted pickles, lots and lots of pickles. Jalapenos. My mouth is already watering just thinking about it. But I really enjoyed that sandwich. When I tell you, there were days that I will go there and they've not opened, and the owner will be like, it's okay, I'll make you a sandwich. I was obsessed, because I'm telling you, like, I will be going crazy if I did not get that sandwich. I really obsessed. That evening had my sandwich and everything. So they came in and then they put like the ball for me. I'm gonna look what it looks like. They put that ball in there and then they expanded. Let me tell you, the pain that I felt. Oh my God. I have a very high tolerance for pain, but I think I felt so much pressure with it, and I'm just like, what's happening right now? Anyways, they put it in. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating. They put it in and I'm there. I'm just kind of chill, kind of chill, kind of chill. And I think by hour 4, they kept on coming in to ask me like, how you feeling? And I'm like, I don't know. And then by hour 4, I started feeling like cramping, like crampy, which they said is normal. I started feeling crampy. And so my nurse came in. Oh God, the nurses there were the best. Oh my God. Like, I cannot speak more highly of my medical team. Like, oh my God, every single person was so good and so kind. Like, I don't even know, like, so freaking kind. I made them like baskets. I made baskets for my labor and delivery nurses, and I also made basket for my postpartum nurses as well. Amazing. Like, when I tell you amazing, like, whoa, I cannot even, like, the words will never be enough. Like, they were so great to me and treated me so well. Anyways, the nurse came in. They kept on coming in to check in, make sure that I'm okay. And so at some point she's like, okay, we're gonna give you the pain medication. I was like, well, I'm not feeling that much pain. And she's like, the things that the pain medication is the sleeping medication, so it's together. So she's gonna give me both. She's like, trust me, you're gonna need it. Let me tell you, she was right, because when she gave me that medication, oh Lord, I was like, woozy woo, woo, woozy woo, 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 woozy woo. The way I felt relaxed, honey, I dozed off and woke up next day. They come in, she's checking, and she's like, okay, they're looking at it just to make sure that I'm dilated. And so when they came in, she checked and everything, and they thought that I was 5 centimeters dilated at this point. And I'm like, okay. So now we're waiting for my water to break. My water wasn't breaking, and so they had to come in to manually break that water. Let me tell you, when I saw that hook, I said, that hook gonna go where? They said that hook gonna go inside. Inside where? Oh my God, it was gonna go inside my hook. Listen, if you want to get pregnant, okay, like, think about it. Like, think about it very well. Think about it very, very well. Because they took that hook, she put it in, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel the pain, but I definitely felt the pressure of it. Like, and then boom, the water broke. And let me tell you, when that water broke, I felt a relief. Like, that heaviness reduced. Like, it really, like, just reduced. I didn't feel as heavy. Like, because pregnancy just felt very heavy, but it didn't feel as heavy, honestly, because with those fibroids and the baby and the water, like, it was just a lot, okay? And so it felt so relieving in that moment. And so the water broke, and so they were like, okay, so now my nurses are coming in, they're turning me around, they're giving me the peanut ball so that way we can get things going. And so she says to me, she's like, if you want when you feel like I'm ready for the epidural, let me know so that way we can bring the guy in. And I was like, okay, but I also don't want to get to 10 because I know that I have a very high threshold for pain. I really do. And so I said, I want to make sure that I'm not a 10 centimeters doll, because I understand that after a certain time, they can no longer give you. And she said, that's not true. She says, the reason why they don't like giving it to you late at that time is because they don't think you can stay still anymore, because now you're like in real pain. So they don't think you can stay still for it. And that's why they try to avoid it by, like, once you pass a certain centimeter of dilation. And I said, okay, no worries. So now I'm like, okay, I need to walk around. I told her, she said, yes. I started walking around. I went with my husband. I was like holding my IV. We are like walking around. And let me tell you, when that labor pain started to hit, the contractions, whoa. Listen, even for someone like me, they felt very heavy. Like, but I needed to, like, stand still for a second. Like, I would stand still when they hear, like, just, and wait for it. And then once it passes, walk. And they kept on telling me, like, the lady kept on saying how, like, she was like, you're so, like, stoic. And I don't know if, like, you're in pain or not. And I said to her, I was like, the things that when I'm in pain, I need to focus. Like, I need to focus. I need to do all my positive self-talk to myself. But also I need to focus. So that's the thing. That's the reason why you're not going to see or you're not going to know. Because I just really need to focus. Let me tell you, I can still feel that pain. So I'm going and we're walking around, and I immediately realized, I'm like, okay, I'm going to need that epidural, like, immediately, because, bro, this is going a little, like, it's getting a little hot in here. And so I said to him, like, okay, I think it's time for my epidural. So the guy comes, he puts the epidural, and let me tell you something. I was so proud because he said, He said, "Oh, you are very still." And I was like, "Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you." Anyways, they gave me the epidural and she's like, "Now you can no longer move." Because and immediately, so I had like a in my leg, and he said that's normal because he said that's normal with the epidural, which means that it has kicked in. And so he waited, just make sure everything was good. And then I laid down. They gave me the peanut ball, and I just laid down there. They turned because now they have to turn me because now I'm like dead from the waist down. Nothing could move, so they had to turn me around. And then they also put the calendar. I feel like I'm saying it wrong, but they put that for me so that way I could pee as well. And so they like will turn me around, just to make sure things are moving. And so now the nurse comes in, and so they usually have the heart monitor on you. So the nurse came in and she was like, she's not getting a reading on the heart rate. And so I started seeing her face change. And as soon as I started seeing her expression change, I knew something was wrong. And then she was like, no, it's okay. And I was like, nah, it's not okay, because I know your face when you walked in here and everything was okay. And I know your face now that everything is not okay. So everything's not okay. I was like, I don't think it's okay, but okay. She kept on showing me everything is okay. And then they brought in the OB. She came in, she checked. They brought in another nurse. She came in, she was checking, and then she was looking at me, and she's like, "Oh, she's 10 centimeters dilated." And I'm like, 10 centimeters dilated? So she's ready to push. The girl is ready to push. And my mom was in shock because my mom was like, "Wait, what? You were already 10 centimeters dilated?" And even the nurses, they were like, "Oh my God, see what I'm talking about? You're so stoic. I didn't even think you were at 10 centimeters. They were like, they thought I was still at like 6 or 5. But I kind of progressed very fast and very quickly too. Immediately, so she's like, "Oh, the heart rate is dropping." So immediately they brought in the doctor, and she came in and she was like, "Hi, Jubilee, my name is this." Nurse, she introduced herself. Nurse, she's like, "The heart rate of your baby is dropping, and so I just want to check to make sure." She's like looking at it, and then she's like, she looks at the nurses, and then she's like, "Oh, Jubilee, the heart rate is dropping. There's nothing wrong. I don't know what's wrong, but I want to prep you for surgery," because she's like, "I just don't want to take any risks because right now the heart rate is dropping really quickly, and I don't want to take risks." And she said, "And if we're in there and the heart rate normalizes, then we just get to pushing." She said, "We just gonna get to pushing." But let me tell you that within 0.000828810 seconds, I felt like I was in Grey's Anatomy. My room had like maybe 20 people. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but it felt like 20 people. This was, "Take out the disc, take out the bed, put up the bed." Before I knew, were rolling me into the theater. And my mom apparently was sitting down there panicking. My mom is thinking it's the end. Now my mom thought in her head, she thought they said that they cannot hear a heart rate. So my mom is panicking and all of that. My husband, they're like, "We're going to come back for you so that way we can prep you to go to the OR with us." And they said my husband's like trying to calm my mom. My husband then calls my brother to call my mom so that way they can be calming her there because he's about to leave her so that way she's not panicking in the room by herself. And so they take me to the OR. They're just like, "Okay, Jubilee, we're going to prep you for surgery. But the heart rate's not going up. The heart rate's still coming down." I'm lying down there like a cadaver. Yeah. Do they put me? They're like, she's like, "Don't touch your stomach, don't touch your stomach." Before I knew it, they pull my hands to the side. Now I'm like laying there like I was Jesus Christ on a cross. And they put that drape down. Let me tell you, before I even blinked, all I heard was, "Baby's out." Like the baby was out. He was out. And they were like, "Yes." And they're there. And she's like, "I see your fibroids. We're not taking them out today. I see them there though. They're sitting down there. I see them. And so she's like, "But I'm going to sew you in." So now they're sewing me in. This other nurse is like, before they brought my husband in, because it was an emergency surgery, right? So before they prepped him to bring him in, the baby was already out. And so by the time he came in, they had already taken out the baby and we're just getting him. And also they needed to test his blood sugar as well, just to make sure everything was okay. Because again, I had gestational diabetes the entire pregnancy. They needed to make sure his sugar levels were right, everything was okay. And especially because his heart rate was dropping as well, just to make sure everything was okay with him. There was this other nurse who was next to me, and she held my hand and looked into my eye the entire time and told me, "Breathe, I'm here for you, whatever you need, breathe." She literally just kept on like reassuring me that I was okay. She was telling me everything that was going on. "The baby's out, you have a beautiful baby." They kept on bringing the baby to me to show me, "This is your baby, this is your baby, this is your baby." They told me where he has the birth marks on his body as well. Like he has a birth mark here, Beautiful baby. They kept on bringing, but for me, I was just out of it. Like When I tell you, I was just completely out of it. Like I was not there. Like I was there, but I was not there. Right? I was just so like, whoa. And so she told me, she's like, oh, they're sewing you up. And then my husband came in, and then he came and took over from her. And he was holding my hands and he was crying. I was like, well, okay, wow, emotional moment for you to become a father. Whoa. Glad we're grateful. Hope my push praise ain't gonna match the tears that we are crying. Because it's not about the tears, it's about the person who brought. I'm just kidding. But so he was there, like, holding my hand, telling me, oh my god, he's a beautiful boy, you did it, babe, you did it, you did it, you did it. And I was just like sitting there shaking. Those C-section shakes are not a joke. Like, what the hell? Like, honestly, what? Like, you feel like you're about to die. Like, I couldn't stop. I could not stop shaking. Oh my god, I wanted the shakes to stop, but I could not stop shaking. And so they stitched me up. And while they were stitching me up, one of the nurses said to the surgeon, which I heard, right? She was just like, she was whispering to her. She was like, oh my God, I love being in the theater with you. You're so good at what you do. That made me feel so good. I'm not going to lie. Like, that made me feel so good in that moment, because I was like, okay, thank God I'm getting the best of the best of the best of the surgeon. And what's funny is that the entire team that took care of me, except the anesthesiologist, I hate that. There's certain words that I hate, honestly, but he was the only person who was a man. Everybody else were all women in that room, including my surgeon. Felt so, I don't know how to explain it. For me, like, it just felt so good, so freaking good. And not just that, also it's like, love that, like, my entire team were the kind of women who would be like, fuck ice. Yeah, felt good, felt liberating. Anyways, moving on. Moving on, because I'm sure we have lost the people who are not here to listen to that. Anyways, so my baby comes into this world. Finally put him on my chest. We're doing chest to chest. I'm so excited. I'm so happy that he's here. My mom, they let her know that everything was fine. The surgery was successful. She was so happy. Let me tell you something. When she held her grandkid, especially it was her first grandkid, she was so excited. I could see the smile on her face. She was so happy. But also she was very happy to see her child, her daughter, because she was like, yes, that's my daughter. Very happy to see her. Very happy you're okay. I just loved seeing the love and the emotion on her face. It felt really good. And in that moment, honestly, you know how people say when you meet your baby for the first time, you just kind of like immediately connect with them. You kind of feel the love. I genuinely did not feel all of those emotions. I was just feeling more a sense of responsibility as opposed to like a sense of, oh, this is like my child. I'm emotionally attached to that person. I don't think every woman experiences it that way. And I don't think it's a bad thing if you don't in that moment, because again, this is somebody who you're meeting for the first time too. Like, they've been in your belly, yes, and you've seen them through ultrasounds, but this is the first time that you're meeting them as well. So sometimes it just takes time for you to like really connect with your baby, right? Like right now, I am over like 6 months postpartum. No, I'm like 7 months postpartum now. And I finally like feel like I'm connecting with my baby. I love my baby. Like, I just enjoy every moment with him. I just want to be with him the entire time and all of that. But in the beginning, it didn't feel that way. It felt more like responsibility. Like, this is my child. This is my child. This is my responsibility. I'm the one who brought him into this world, and I need to make sure that he's okay. Yeah, in that moment, at least that's how I felt. And it just reminded me that every story is unique in its own way. Like, there's no linear story. Like, so when someone tells you their pregnancy journey, not even two pregnancies from the same person are the same. That's what's even crazier. So I think that we need to like be gentle with ourselves and understand that our pregnancy journey is so unique to us. And the only person that understands your pregnancy journey is you and your doctors, because they're the ones who are seeing what's happening with you every step of the way. They're the ones who are there. And I also want to put it out there that if you're somewhere where like the hospital is not treating you well, honestly, try to, if you can, obviously, I know that circumstances are very different in so many situations, but if you can find like another place to go to, so that way you're given the care that you deserve. Because I feel like pregnancy in itself is already very heavy. It's very heavy. It's a lot. It takes a lot of emotional and mental strength for you, and physical strength too, for you to go from point A to point B, which is to the end of the pregnancy, and just the entire process of it. And so I feel like women should be given, like, pregnant women should be treated a certain way, because I mean, you're most vulnerable too. So, but yeah, this is my pregnancy journey, and this is the way that I wanted to share with you guys. It was hard. I'm not gonna lie. I know, like, I'm laughing and kicking, but it was hard. It was one of the most challenging things that I ever did. To add is that when I was training for my half marathon, when I found that I was pregnant at 8 weeks, I still went and ran the marathon, the half marathon. I ran the half marathon pregnant. I ran it pregnant. And I have to say, one of the hardest things that I could ever do. But after I ran the half marathon, I thought in my head, and I said to myself, I was like, if I can do this, then I can push myself to get to the end of this pregnancy. Like, you have the strength, you have the ability, you're able to do this. And I think that's what kind of kept me going. I just anchored myself to the fact that if I was able to run a half marathon pregnant at the craziest time and at the height of all of my hormones and all of my pregnancy symptoms, I felt like, okay, if I can do that, then I can do the rest of it. It was challenging. It was challenging. One of the most challenging things I've ever done, but truly one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done as well. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this story. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Also, like, if there's anything that, like, when it comes to like gestational diabetes, if you want to see my chat for how I, like, the diet that I was on and how I was able to eat and how I was able to, like, just maintain my blood sugar through my pregnancy and just my routines for that, let me know, and I can literally do like a spreadsheet of that, so that way, if it helps you during your journey, I am happy, so happy to be a part of that process for you. But yeah, I hope you guys truly enjoyed this. I really enjoyed recording this, just sharing my pregnancy journey, especially as a first time mom. And if you're wondering about the fibroids, yes, they're still in there. I'm planning to have them removed in a few months. But yeah, motherhood has been interesting, exciting, challenging. But now that I look at my son every now and again, in moments, I'm like, worth it, because he gets to experience the love that I get to give him. And I think I am one of the most loving people on earth, truly. Anyway, take what you need, leave what you don't, and I will see you on the next episode. Have a fantastic day.